You're watching TAG TV.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 10th of July. India-South Korea aim to double trade to $50 billion by 2030. Two militants killed in encounter in India's Jammu and Kashmir. And suicide bomber kills 10 in eastern Afghanistan. And now for all the details. South Korean President Moon Jae-in on Tuesday held delegation-level talks with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi to boost bilateral ties. The Korean president said that Seoul and New Delhi will be aiming to achieve a trade target of $50 billion by the year 2030.
South Korean President Moon Jae-in on Tuesday met Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi in New Delhi to boost bilateral ties between the two nations. Both the leaders held delegation-level talks aiming to accelerate peace process in the Korean peninsula and creating a positive environment in the region. The leaders held extensive discussions covering all aspects of bilateral relationship towards infusing new momentum in ties. In a joint statement, the Korean president said that Seoul and New Delhi will be aiming to achieve a target of $50 billion trade by the year 2030.
कि पूर्वोत्तर और दक्षिण एशिया के प्रोलिफरेशन लिंक्स भारत के लिए भी चिंता का विषय है और इसलिए इस शांति प्रक्रिया की सफलता में भारत भी एक स्टेक होल्डर है। तनाव कम करने में जो भी सहयोग हो सकेगा हम अवश्य करेंगे और इसलिए हमने अपने परामर्श और समन्वय की गति बढ़ाने का निर्णय लिया है।
Earlier in the day, President Moon Jae-in was accorded a ceremonial welcome at the presidential palace. According to the Indian government, the 3-day visit of the South Korean president was the extension of India's Act East policy. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi had visited Seoul in May 2015 that further elevated India-South Korea relations to a special strategic partnership.
Two militants were killed in an encounter with security forces in Shopian district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday. The encounter broke after security forces launched a cordon and search operation in the Kundalan area of the district following information about the presence of the militants. One security personnel was also injured during the gunfight, which was still underway till the last reports came in. India accuses Pakistan of arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the allegations. And in news from Pakistan, Pakistan's Apex Court on Tuesday granted the Accountability Court an extension of 6 weeks to conclude corruption references against ousted Premier Nawaz Sharif and former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar. This comes after Nawaz Sharif was sentenced to 10 years in jail in Avonfield reference case last Friday.
Pakistan's Supreme Court on Tuesday ordered a 6-week extension to the Accountability Court to conclude the remaining 2 cases against former Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and former Finance Minister Ishaq Dar. This is the 4th time an extension has been granted to reach a conclusion in the corruption cases. Earlier on Friday, the court had sentenced the former Premier to 10 years of jail term in the Avonfield reference case. The National Accountability Bureau had filed a total of 3 cases against Sharif and his family last September, accusing them of money laundering, tax evasion, and hiding offshore assets. After the court's verdict, the remaining cases pertain to the Al Azizia steel mills and Hill Metal establishment and offshore companies including Flagship Investment Limited. The verdict came as a blow to the ex-Prime Minister and his family, as Pakistan is scheduled to hold election on July 25th, a historic event that will mark the country's second ever democratic transition of power.
Moving on, Canada-based Pakistani Islamist Zafar Bangash has revealed that the UNHRC chief was in touch with him for the report against India on the Kashmir issue. India had called the UN report a selective compilation of largely unverified information that sought to build a false narrative.
In a sensational revelation, Canada-based Pakistani Islamist Zafar Bangash has said the United Nations Human Rights Commission chief, Zaid Rad, was in touch with him for the report against India on the Kashmir issue. In a conference held in Canada's Mississauga city, Bangash revealed he lobbied for the controversial UNHRC report against India. Meanwhile, President of Pakistan-administered Kashmir, Sardar Masood Khan, during the conference urged the need to avert a nuclear war between India and Pakistan.
That we, the friends of Kashmir, also have a role in the production of this report. In fact, I have personal correspondence with the High Commissioner for Human Rights, email correspondence in which he responded to my personal letter and email saying that he would like to have access to both lines of control.
On June 14, the UN released its first ever human rights report on Kashmir, accusing security forces of gross human rights violations on both sides of the border. In a statement, the Indian Foreign Ministry called the UN report a selective compilation of largely unverified information that sought to build a false narrative. India has long blamed Pakistan of arming and infiltrating militants across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Islamabad denies the allegations.
And in news from Afghanistan, U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on Monday paid a surprise visit to Kabul and held talks with Afghan President Ashraf Ghani and other high-ranking officials. He promised support to Ghani's bid to start peace talks with the Taliban.
U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo arrived in Kabul on a surprise visit on Monday and held talks with top Afghan officials, including President Ashraf Ghani. Pompeo, during his visit, also addressed a news conference in the presidential palace in Kabul and promised support for Ghani's bid to start peace talks with the Taliban. While repeating the United States' commitment to take part in the peace talks, he said the U.S. strategy announced last year of sending more troops to increase pressure on the Taliban was working.
Now more than ever, the United States stands as an enduring partner for Afghanistan. It's been almost 1 year since President Trump announced the new South Asia strategy. It features a conditions-based approach and the removal of artificial timelines and arbitrary troop ceilings. We're working with the Afghan government and security forces to set the conditions to produce a safer, more secure Afghanistan, which is Afghan-led and Afghan-owned.
Pompeo's visit at the end of a tour of Asian countries, including North Korea and Vietnam, was his first to Afghanistan since he became Secretary of State in April.
More on news from Afghanistan. At least 10 persons were killed in a suicide bombing in Jalalabad city of Afghanistan's eastern Nangarhar province on Tuesday. According to spokesperson for the provincial governor, at least 8 civilians and 2 personnel of National Directorate of Security were killed in the attack. The official said most of the victims were children who were working in a car wash close to the site. 8 cars were burnt in the explosion. So far, no group, including the Taliban, has claimed responsibility. In a unique step to celebrate reading, more than 12,000 students in India's southern Tamil Nadu province assembled and participated in a reading hour. Each student also contributed 1 book to the cause at the end of the hour.
In order to promote reading, more than 12,000 students of St. Mary's Higher Secondary School in southern India's Trivandrum city assembled to participate in a reading hour organized by the school recently. The reading challenge started at 9:30 in the morning, where the school principal, Father Sissy Chon, led the students in reading. The students intend on denoting an hour every day for reading.
Today, we have inaugurated a special program called Oru Dinam Oru Manikur Vayanikku. 1 day, 1 hour for reading. 12,000 plus students entered into the world of reading by opening their texts at the same time. It is a great achievement for this school.
The school set up libraries in 225 classrooms as part of the reading month in the school. Each student also contributed one book to the course at the end of the hour.
Golf is gaining momentum in India with a breezy pace. With about 220 golf courses, the government is now keen to exploit golf tourism in its true potential.
The sport of golf is gaining momentum in India with a breezy pace. The emerging trend of playing golf among the youth has motivated the government and private players to improve infrastructure, including golf courses of international standards and trained manpower. The government is now keen to exploit golf tourism to its true potential. The Ministry of Tourism is keen on promoting golf for the development of the overall ecosystem of tourism.
We find now that more and more people are going for experiential kind of tourism. The biggest challenge which we were facing is that even at our iconic sites like Taj Mahal, we are not able to make the people stay for more than one night. Mostly they go in the morning and come back. So what we find is that in and around our iconic tourist sites, if a golf course is created, then people actually go to the site, enjoy the golf course, stay there for 3-4 days, spend a lot of money. So which means a lot of employment for the local people and also a lot of earning for the local people, you know.
India has about 220 golf courses, amongst which 25 are signature golf courses which are at par with international standards. Many private resorts and golf courses are providing their guests the world's best dining along with the golfing facilities. Located on the outskirts of the capital, New Delhi, the JP Greens Golf and Spa Resort promises some of the most stunning views of the beautiful 18-hole golf course.
Golf needs a good weather, and in India, out of 365 days, average 324 days are the sunlight days, you know, so which is very rare in the world. So that is very, very important, you know, for a golf.
The aim to promote golf culture and attract tourists requires some 100 new golf courses in the country. It will not only help attract tourists and generate revenue for the state, but also open new job opportunities for the youth. Vikram Sethi is a well-known golf coach who foresees a bright future for golf in India. He believes aggressive promotion will help attract world golfers to the country.
We have excellent golf courses. We have golf courses all over the country. In the north, Delhi being the city which has the maximum number of courses. Then south, Bangalore has very good courses. Pune has very good courses. The east might be a little weak, but we have the oldest club there out of the British Isles called the Royal Calcutta Golf Club. So we have golf all around the country. It's just a question of being able to promote it.
With golf courses spreading to every nook and corner of India and the growing popularity of the sport, together with sightseeing of the sports, golf enthusiasts are looking forward to visiting India for a holiday that goes beyond the tees and greens.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.
You're watching TAG TV.